Hey everyone! Welcome back! I am back today with more Jojolion Manga reviews, you guys! Guys, I don't think you're ready for this batch today. And honestly, I think you could probably say that about any Jojolion batch because it just keeps getting like weirder and weirder. This one gets really weird, but we get a lot of great stuff in here, you guys. Like great, like stuff. Yeah, I want to just get right into it. But before I do all that, I do just want to say, if you're joining me early today, you know just what that means. It means you are one of my awesome patrons. Thank you so very much. And as always, I'm sending up those big old hugs right through that screen. And if not, still thank you for joining me today. I am glad you're here. I do hope you'll consider supporting me that way. The link to my Patreon is going to be in that description down below. And if you're joining me on the YouTubes, I really hope you'll hit like and subscribe. That does help me and my channel so very much. So thank you in advance for that. First things first, I did get a new JoJo poster. And since this is like my only JoJo reaction review left now, I just thought I'd point it out and share it with you because I used to do like the hauls and the anime reactions and everything. And yeah, no, I'm officially sniff done for now until Steel Ball Run gets animated, which gotta keep believing. Yeah, so I thought I'd share that with you. I don't think you could see a whole lot of it back there, but yeah, I think maybe I showed it off in a different video too, so I don't know, I'm probably good, who knows. Yeah guys, so last time we had quite a bit going on in Jojolion, as we will for the foreseeable future, trust me. But we got to meet the Higashikata family, and they were interesting. We already knew Joshu, but he doesn't count. I'd say he doesn't count, like the rest of them are all totally nice and cool and fine, except I still don't know how I feel about them. Like, yeah, after this batch, like, let's regroup and let's discuss, because I'm still, honest to God, I'm like, sometimes I think you're super nice, and other times I'm like, what is wrong with you? Was it last time that we had, yeah. Last time was when we had, Yasuho, like, they threatened Yasuho, and I was like, I don't know what your problem is, but why are you, like, yeah. Yeah, that was last time. And another big thing, we got the DNA test back about Kira. And they are the same person genetically. Genetically, they are the same person. So what even could this mean? Some of you out there really liked my Evil Speedwagon Foundation theory. And I'm so glad, because, like, I don't know. I would be really surprised if they took it in that direction. But there is a little bit of cause and motivation for it. So I'm like, I think as a theory, it was solid, and I'm glad a lot of you felt the same way. But yeah, so what is really going on? And I can tell you, we are going to get tidbits about it every couple of chapters, which is really nice. I think it's really cool that for a mystery, we're not just like, oh, we'll get like one little nugget of information and then like 20 chapters of something that doesn't have anything to do with it, and then we'll kind of come back and revisit it. So they do, like Araki, he strings us along so well. So, all right, guys, let's jump right in, because there is a chapter in here that is literally going to blow your minds. Like, it will blow up your minds like Killer Queen. Pun intended. Pun intended. We'll get there. You'll see why. All right, so let's just kick it off with chapter 9. We start off with this really nice, I think the stand explanations are just really cool, and I like including them because it's just fun. I don't know. It's just one of those fun things that, like, he includes it, these little tidbits, and it's like, I'm going to show it. So, California King Bad is Daiya's stand, and from feelings of guilt from fussing over Daiya, one part of one's memory is taken. It's going to be on the screen too. Daiya owns them in the form of chess pieces and is able to watch that person's memories as much as she wants. So to me, it feels like a combination of White Snake, where he can take the person's memories and stand, The lock, which was what's his name from part 4, he did the thing with the guilt, and it would like add this like lock, and it was, you remember the whole Koichi thing. It was a whole thing, you remember. And also like a little bit, just a touch of the Darbies, just because of the collection aspect, the fact that like in the same way that souls were being collected in the like little coin things, or the horrifying little dolls in the case of Terrence. So yeah, so basically getting on into the chapter, Josuke reaches towards the light switch and Daiya threatens him to stop, because remember where we left off, he was like, he's like taking care of her now, or looking after her, and she's got plans. She's got plans, you guys. I don't think any of us are gonna I don't know how, it's the plans. We'll get there. So he reaches towards the light switch and Daiya threatens him to stop. He's thinking that he's got to do something and defeat her because he really wants to see Yasuho again. He and Yasuho are just... We waited a long time for Araki to give us like a really good canonical love story. And man, he's just like, right off the bat, they're separated, and it's just, it's good, you guys. It's good, angsty ship fun, okay? So he sees Daiya's phone and remembers that he knows Yasuho's number. Like, apparently he remembers it, so he goes for it. Daiya catches him and takes something from him in one of her little bubbles. And guess what it is? It's Yasuho. It's the memory of Yasuho. She recognizes her because, you know, she had been friends. She had been, like, in their house a bunch of times since she was, like, a little girl. And she's like, ooh, can I keep it? She's so pretty. Like, yeah, Daiya's got a real, like, chaotic, cutesy, like, Harley Quinn kind of vibe going on here. So he just repeats her name, and he's like, what did you take? And you could really tell that he's forgotten Yasuho. Like, he legit, it's been taken from him. And I don't know why, like, him just, like, repeating the name and just kind of, like, seeming vacant about it just makes me so sad when it does. So, but the call went through before the phone got taken away. So we see Yasuho look at her phone. She has a call coming in. She doesn't recognize the number, so she's, like, not going to answer. But she notices, like, she's curious about it. So Josuke sees the chess piece and wants to know who's in there, but Daiya's just like, I'm not telling you. And she's like, practically, she's just like, she's having the time of her life with this, okay? She's kind of like, picture like a very cutesy version of Yukako from part 4. I wouldn't say Daiya's exactly like yandere in the sense that Yukako was. Like, Yukako's like textbook. I think she was like the first yandere. But Daiya's definitely got like some vibes of that. You know what I mean? Maybe just in this instance, because she's clearly like trying to like trap Josuke. So, all right. She's like, now our happiness can begin and all this stuff, but Josuke just still has this nagging feeling that he was supposed to do something and like reach out to someone. And Daiya's just like, hey, you know, I might be younger than you, but it turns out I'm bigger than you. And she's like, I guess it's because I'm so big and fluffy, huh? And I'm like, how are you referring to, like, she has like this little bear outfit, this little bear ear hood skirt outfit thing? Or is she referring to parts of her that are large? I don't know. But where this is headed is pretty disturbing. So she's like, you know, I didn't know how far you'd gotten or not, but like, you haven't even kissed yet. So I think I can win. So she's been looking at the memory of Yasuho. She knows that they haven't made it official. So she's gonna come in and claim her man. She's like, do you like big fluffy girls? And she starts coming on to him big time. So he's just like, I don't understand anything that you are saying right now. Like, this boy, he barely understands life. He's like brand new. And from his perspective, because he like has no memory beyond like what, a few days ago or a few weeks ago. to throw something like this at him. Like, okay, moving on. So she's like, now, okay. I'm reading my notes, and I'm like, oh God, this is about to get weird. She's like, now I know I'm the first girl you've ever met, right? I'm like, all you know. So when she took the memory of Yasuho, you know, Yasuho was like the first person that he saw, and he was so attached to her. Now, Daiya is like the first girl he's ever met or like made friends with. So, and from his perspective. So she's like, hey, do you think I'm cute? And she just like, she lays herself out on her bed like she's just serving herself up on a platter. There's no other way I can think of to put it. It's very, it gets steamy, it gets spicy. And I'll tell you, it is just a little bit slightly awkward to be watching this because keep in mind, she is like, a teenage girl. So yeah, I mean, I think she's supposed to be 16, and I know that's like the legal age in Japan and everything, but I'm still just like watching this girl, and she's got like the bear outfit on and everything. There's just something about her feels very juvenile, and I'm just like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. I don't want Josuke to be here. I don't think any of us should be here, personally. I can think of a lot of other places I'd rather be than here. So she's like, all right, you think I'm cute? And she's, you know, laying it on real thick. And he's just like, yes. I mean, he's pretty blunt. He's pretty honest about everything he's feeling. Take it or leave it, good or bad. So now things are starting to get very steamy because he's sort of like leaning over her on the bed, and it's, So she's starting to undo her belt and all. So oh my God, the dad, Norsuke, this generation's Norsuke, starts walking by and hears what's going on. And I'm like, oh my God, Josuke's gonna die. So then he sees through her door what's going on. And sure enough, the dad's like, I'm going to kill him. That is my baby girl. She's only 16. Yada yada. And I'm like, that's pretty much what I expect. A dad who caught his, that's pretty much what I would expect, honestly. What I didn't expect is still coming because, So they don't show exactly what's going on in detail here, but whatever it is he's starting to do, she's encouraging it very much, and she's encouraging more of it. I don't think they're actually doing anything, but it's, the dialogue is feeling quite adult film here, and I don't like it. So that's when the dad is like, okay, this is what I didn't expect. What I totally expect from the dad to be like, I'm gonna kill him. That's my little girl. I'm like, okay, fair. That's pretty. I mean, it's pretty. I would say standard reaction, right? That's when the dad is like, I'm gonna kill him, but first I'm gonna let her make him a slave in both mind and body, so I can like fully capture him. This is what I'm just like, I don't know about this family anymore. I don't know about this. Like, I'm just like, wow. Cause like, and you'll see too, like they still in the future, like they have their like cutesy moments, and you have moments like these people are all like genuinely horrible. Like, what? Especially like Joshu, like he's awful, but I think we all knew that from like the start, like he's horrible. But like the dad and the other kids, like I go back and forth on. But this is definitely raising a major red flag. So I'm just like, wow. So he's like, you know what? If this is gonna get him in a place where I can manipulate him, then carry on. And I'm just like, okay then. So she's starting to shed more of her outfit, and just this chapter is just really uncomfortable for me to get through because like Araki is really not shy with certain graphic things anymore. Like in part 7, I think you could. I mean, he's always like he doesn't necessarily like shy away from violence, you know, especially in the name of being bizarre, you know, like we would have like just all kinds of crazy messed up stuff in like all the parts really, but like part 3 on, I can really think of just like really like horror imagery. But he's gotten super comfortable with the more spicy graphicness. He's gotten way more comfortable with that. Yeah. So, she's getting comfortable, I guess. And she's like, you know, the boy has to say it first, blah, blah, blah. Oh, wait. Okay, yeah, she's starting to shed more of her outfit, and she's asking him, like, is she cute? You know, do you think I'm cute? She's like, the boy has to say it first, and he's thinking, like, you know what? She is, in fact, very cute, but she's also really dangerous, and I do have to get my memories back. So I'm like, you know what? Thank God you're at least, like, thinking with the correct head here, Josuke. Like, good on you. Like, he's a, you know what? For somebody who's just, like, he has this very, like, brand new to the world kind of vibe to him, I feel like he's honest with himself in a way that like a lot of people can't be. Like the fact that he literally was like just whatever it is that happened to him, like his life as he knows it began a matter of days ago. There's something about him that like it's confusing for him, but he has a little bit more clarity on things than probably like a lot of people do. Because he's also mired down with like life experience and other stuff. Trauma. He does have quite a bit of trauma though already. So, all right. So he starts feeling again like he's forgotten something really important, and he starts to say, "I love you," but then he starts cutting off the "you," and I'm like, oh my God, I legit thought he was gonna say, "I love Yasuo." Like I know he doesn't remember, but I legit thought this was gonna be one of those moments. But no, he doesn't. He says "you." But then she notices that his soap bubble has like floated off somewhere and made like a click. So she's like, did you just turn out the lights? And he's like, no, I've been here this entire time. And she's like, get away from me, and starts like freaking out. So it's confirmed that it was a soap bubble and it just burst somewhere near the ceiling. Josuke is thinking like that he didn't do it consciously, but the light switch sound that his bubble took before, the sound like just burst out when the bubble popped. So Daiya's like, you know what? I'm getting changed to go shopping. Like, don't fuss over me. And I'm like, okay, well, I know it's that, honestly, that bubble was very well timed because I didn't want to see, for so many reasons, I just really didn't want that. And oh my God, there's actually another reason, which we'll get to later, that I didn't want that to go. I didn't want that to go any further. Okay, so she's thinking to herself, like, I really need to watch out for his stand. Like, I just need one more memory. And she's also thinking, like, you know, all the things she wants to do to him. She's worked up. She's worked up. And she wants him to love her. And she wants to, like, immerse herself in these memories. And Josuke is trying to figure out, like, can I even defeat her? Finn to chapter 9. It got weird in that one, you guys. It got pretty weird. Daiya's super into him. I find this funny, like not funny, but I find this interesting for a couple of reasons. One, it's interesting to me that we've had so many other like JoJo's that were clearly like very simped over, like, you know, Jotaro, Josuke, part 4 Josuke. And they never really did anything with that, you know? Like, they never really did like a story about like I mean, there were always like people that said things in passing and everything. At least like Jotaro, like I remember like High Priestess was like super like and I'm like yeah. That was a good story. Anyway, yeah, they never really like did very much with that, and here like they're you know what, again, Araki is just very comfortable with the fact that these are like very, very, very beautiful men, and he is going to explore that fully, and he did, and it was weird. Yeah. So her stand is really interesting. Like I said, it's kind of a combo, yet it's also like its own thing, which, you know, is one of the great things about these later parts of JoJo, is that they always kind of borrow from like a concept before, but I feel like his writing is just at such peak right now that it's part 5 was kind of like this too. I remember thinking in part 5, like there were a lot of stands that were similar to ones in the past, but he sort of came in and like made them, I hate to say make them better, because like I don't think there's really well, some people disagree on this, but I don't think there's like really bad ideas for stands that I can think of. I know there's like a few that everyone's like, nah, that was a bad idea. But like truly, like this is not entertaining or just like stupid or whatever. Like I kind of feel like that's not really the case, but he always like made them better. And I feel like that's what he's doing now. So California King Bad is a really cool stand because not only can you learn a lot, like that would be like if she really wanted to use it in a way that was productive or damaging, or you know, like if she wasn't just like a girl just trying to like be like a teenager and do teenage things here. I mean, think about the stuff you could do with that, you know? I mean, we see what Poochie was doing with like people's memories and everything. That, and it changes the person. Like you could take a memory, or you're gonna see how taking a memory could affect somebody very, very much. And I think maybe you can see where this is headed, but yeah, it's a really interesting thing. And yeah, it got steamy. That's about all I'm really gonna say about this one. Norsuke was weird in this one. I don't know how to feel about him anymore. I don't know why, okay, so question. And again, this is something that we might be kind of addressing, but even like that doesn't quite add up to me. Why is he so interested in Josuke? Like, why? What is it about him that he feels the need to like specifically capture this person? You know, it makes you wonder, like these people are not like doing badly for themselves or anything. They could hire anyone. They could like take anyone else in and probably do like the same thing to them. Like why specifically Josuke? You know what I mean? So yeah, I think that's about all I gotta say about chapter 9. Chapter 10 is longer, and then chapter 11. We want to do a speed run here, guys, because trust me, when we get to chapter 11, we're gonna want to like dwell in it for a while. So okay, chapter 10, we get another little intro to the people of Morio. Now that we have more info about the whole Kira thing, it's just kind of like to keep us up to date. So, you know, I thought that would be helpful. So anyway, back to our story. Josuke's thinking how much he needs to resolve this whole thing before more memories get taken, and I couldn't agree more. We cut to Yasuho, and she's trying to figure out why the maid threatened her before. Remember, she was like, don't ever come back here, like harm's gonna come to your family. A message from Norsuke, apparently. She is also having her heart literally go ba-dump when she thinks of Josuke, which I think is so cute. And she says she wants to help him. She wants to see him. She knows he's not a bad person. And I'm just like, this is like the shippiest ship he's ever done. Like even Yukako and Koichi, I feel like we're not this, it wasn't as built up. Like maybe the closest we had was like Jonathan and Erina, because we did build that up over a number of episodes and everything, or, you know, I guess chapters, because we're talking about manga. Yeah, so she approaches the Higashikata house again when Daiya slams up against the gate and scares her. And she's like, open the gate, I'm going shopping with Josuke. And so Yasuho sees Josuke like standing behind her and tries to like wave and smile, but he's just like, huh? And she's just like, ah, which, yeah, same. So Daiya is putting on this whole little show and is telling Josuke to like sing for her while she pedals the bike, and she wants him to sing Bicycle by Queen, which good taste by that. Daiya does have excellent taste in music. It's such a good song, especially and she's telling him like it's such a good song, especially the part where they say they like bicycles more than Star Wars. And I'm sorry, my girl Daiya, but I'm gonna have to fact check you here because that is not the line. The actual lyric is like, I don't like Star Wars. It's not, I like bicycles more than Star Wars. So I'm sorry, baby girl, I'm gonna have to fact check you there. Yeah. Yasuo's just as shocked this whole time. She mentions that there's someone behind the gate, and Daiya mentions it, and Josuke's just like, oh, it's just some stranger, passerby, I don't know. And Yasuo overhears him. She's like, what do you mean, stranger? And so that's how she knows something really bad must be happening. You know, like this isn't just like a love triangle thing. You know what I mean? Like this is getting serious. So Josuke asks Daiya if she's really going to go buy a bike, and she's just explaining like she's going to buy him all the stuff he needs, and she tells him to protect her from behind and like navigate for her. So he doesn't think she can pedal, and he gets in front of the bike, and his shadow is like almost right there, but she doesn't fall for it, and she pivots the bike away, and I'm like, dang it, this could have been over. So he takes his star bubble, because they both have bubble things, so it's very confusing. Like her thing is kind of like these little bubbles that are in chess pieces, and his thing is a bubble. He takes his bubble, he puts it to his lips, and he proceeds to jump onto the tree branch above. His voice is in the soap bubble and is now talking to her. So I'm like, oh my God, that's so genius. But then she's like, hey, hug me tight from behind, okay? Because he's supposed to be on the bike, but he's still in the tree. He's not on the bike. So she's like, are your arms being used for something else? And that's when we see a chess piece coming from his ear. She figures out he's actually on a branch, and we see that what she just took from him is the memory of his stand. Which we know this could be really, really serious, right? Because we've seen very similar with Whitesnake. I mean, you'll see. So we see his stand actually like leaving him. And once she sees it and sees how stand works, she's like freaking out thinking, wow, I can't believe it, I won. She does acknowledge this isn't his actual stand, it's just the memories of it, so he can't use it. If he doesn't know it's there, he can't use it, right? Like I guess maybe technically if he was threatened that much, it might pop out, but like he can't really use it effectively if he has no idea what it is and he doesn't remember it. So it's a little different from Whitesnake in that Whitesnake could actually take the stand and then the person was basically missing like a chunk of their soul and would die. In this case, it's just a memory, but still, like, it's a pretty OP power. You could literally, like, almost essentially take away, you could really basically take away somebody's stand. The only thing is, if you were doing that with the intent to kill them or harm them significantly, and their stand popped out to defend them, because it's more of like an automatic thing, like people who don't even, like Jojo didn't even know he was manifesting a stand. He thought he was possessed. Like poor Star Platinum was bringing him like beer and comics and all this stuff, and he was like, get away from me, demon. Poor Star Platinum's like, I'm hurt. I'm sorry. Okay, so anyway, yeah. So she takes the memory of his stand, and we're screwed, right? Where am I in this? Oh yeah, so she's thinking like she's won, right? You know? And she's like, there's nothing left to protect you now. She asks him if he likes her. And he's just like panting and freaking out over this. And she's like, okay, let's go buy a toothbrush. Let's get matching ones. Ha 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 ha. And he like feels the strength leaving his body. So like it does affect him, but like I don't think it's enough to like kill you like what Whitesnake was doing. So she hears a ringing noise and she's like, that's my ringtone, but it's coming from somewhere else. So Josuke admits that he hid her phone in the refrigerator. And he says, you know, you're all about fairness, so I'm gonna be honest with you, I hid it. And he's like, what reason could I have for hiding it? Like, was I calling an important person? Because he genuinely can't remember now. So she gets mad and she breaks the chess piece with his stand in it. And a shard of it actually like hits his eye. It's so gross. I'm just like, tell me this isn't really happening. So she says the only person he would have called is Yasuo. She's like, I gotta go get that cell phone right now. She knows that it must be Yasuo and that he called and is thinking that it doesn't matter that he doesn't even remember her anymore. It's the principle of it, that he called another woman when he was right beside her on her phone, on her bed and all this stuff. And I'm like, honey, you know you're the other woman, right? Like, technically she was there first. Yeah. So it turns out that it is Yasuho calling back. So they go to the fridge and it's still ringing. Now, when they're at the fridge, this did kind of give me vibes of the rat episode in part 4 where like they open up the fridge and they find like the flesh cube people stuck in there. I don't know why. It was a fridge scene. I had to mention it. So she's like, okay, now take it out of the fridge, put it on the floor and close the door. And she's thinking that like she's determined to totally eliminate all important concepts of himself from his life. And I'm like, wow, okay. You can kind of see where she gets it from with the way that the dad is operating, but still. So Daiya answers it and hears Yasuho on the other end and looks super cheesed off. She is mad. She's like, you've really done it now. And she starts to take the Yasuho chess piece and slam it down when he tells her to wait because she's stepping right in his shadow. In fact, the door has been open for a while now, hasn't it? The door to the refrigerator. And that's when all the memories start flooding back to him. And he reveals that he planned it all out this way. Of course he did. Before he got his Sam memory taken, he planned to hide the phone because once the fridge door is open, there's a light that comes out of it that will cast a shadow, etc., etc. The rest is history. So he's like, I beat you fair and square, and now I want to know something. Did your father order you to attack me? And she's like, no, I have no idea what his plans for you are. But apparently he has some. So he talks to Yasuho on the phone and says he'll call her later. And now that he remembers the symbol, the mark, he knows he has to go upstairs and figure this all out. So Daiya starts crying, wants to know like if he still likes her. And she's just like, it's really starting to fall apart now. So he's like, I hate you, but I like your honesty. And that's actually something really beautiful about you. So do you want me to start liking you? And she's like, oh my God, yes. And I'm just like, wow, the tables really turned here very quickly. So he says, okay, from now on, he gets to use the phone like it's his own. And don't tell anyone about going to the second floor. So she's like, okay, I won't say anything. And he like kisses her on the cheek and she's like, and I'm just like, wow, ordinarily I'd say this is pretty cold to like sort of use and manipulate a young girl this way. But to be fair, like she was kind of doing the same to him, only maybe even worse because she was like forcibly taking memories from him. It went beyond even just using charm or someone's feelings about you against them. It went even a little bit further than that. He asks her to explain the mark on the stairs, and she says that it's the bookseller's mark, and it's on the Braille books that she reads too. So I'm like, oh. So they go in the study, and they find the book with the same mark, and guess what it's called? It is called the Steel Ball Run Race Complete Record by Norisuke Higashikata the First. And when I read this, when I saw this, because up to now, like they're Higashikatas, but like, and it's Norisuke, but they did mention like, yeah, he was like second place and everything in the Steel Ball Run. They got money, blah blah blah. But like we haven't really connected anything up to this point, and I was like screaming and kicking my feet reading this because I'm like, this is it. We're about to connect some dots. Finn to chapter 10. This was a really good one. This was not the first time we got to see Josuke like doing something. I'm sorry, I have to take a sip of water because it's out of my JoJo cup. A lot of you haven't seen this in a while. My JoJo cup. Parched. I'm parched because I've been going on here. We did get to see him in a fight last time too, but like it's really cool to see him do the thing where he's like, I love this thing in the anime where they explain like 10 steps ago how they planned it, and it's something we see a lot on JoJo's, and I was really, really happy to see it here. And I gotta say, like, Josuke, he's kind of like a sweet, like, little bean, but sometimes he could just be very, very cold too, like we saw, like he would just like punch the crap out of the guy he was fighting last time. He would like tell Yasuho like, hey, can you like look the other way for a second? And here he's just like, you know what? He is a sweet bean, but also like he's not afraid to sort of be like, okay, you work for me now. So it is kind of interesting, especially like based on what we've seen of Kira. If he's supposed to like somehow be Kira or like a clone of Kira or something, it kind of makes sense that he would have a little bit of like that cold sort of air to him, you know, in one way or another, you know, like maybe it's not his whole personality, but if he is, I don't know what, like I still am not sure exactly how all the Kira stuff adds up. Like I'm on I stopped at like chapter like 17 or 18. 17? And now I'm going to wait till I catch up in my reviews. So I think it's more fun when I'm just like doing it, you know, almost like live, like a real time with you. But anyway, so this was really fun. This was a great opportunity for Josuke to shine. I love the Yasuho and Josuke stuff. You could tell they just care about each other so much. And, the just, like, keeping them apart thing just, the yearning that it built up in me, you guys. I'm just like, what are you doing, Araki-sensei? You're, like, making this, like, a love story, too? Like, you're gonna kill me. Come on. So, yeah. Really clever way to get around this. Daiya's just, like I said, she's got, like, some Harley Quinn vibes. She's very, like, she's doing what she's doing out of love, only, you know, again, it is very, like, you know, seeing how the dad literally is talking about, like, trapping and, like, capturing Josuke, you can't exactly blame her for getting the idea that something like that would be okay. But still, he thought his way out of it, and it was really cool, and I enjoyed it. And yeah, I think that's about all. I know that was a long one, but like, I think that's about all I've got to say about chapter 10. I really, really, really want to get into chapter 11 because guys, you're not ready for chapter 11. You're not ready for this. Let's go. So we see Josuke get up from under his bed. There's like a chair on top for added weight and everything. And next scene, we see Daiya's just like hanging all over him, asking him how he slept, if he put the chair on his bed for added weight, and so forth. And she's like, hey, you know, I really want to take my socks off. And he's like, yeah, do it yourself, I'm busy. And I'm like, dang, that's so cold. Like, the tables turned so much. Like, I almost kind of feel bad for her because ordinarily I would hate seeing a girl putting herself in this position, but like, I don't know. So the dad sees all this happening and he's like, that sure doesn't look like she made him her slave, does it? And I'm like, I can't with you, sir. I cannot. So we cut to Hato, the older sister, and Joshu, Mr. Wonderful, in the bathroom getting ready. He's shaving, she's doing her mascara, and he's like, hey, did you lose weight? You still got that tapeworm? And she's like, no, I had one a while ago, though. And they just, like, break out laughing together. Then they go back to bickering like true siblings. And I'm just like, the way that he's just, like, kind of building up the slice of life stuff is really amazing in this. So Josuke comes in and sees Joshu shaving, and he says he needs to shave, too, since his stubble's getting really long. And, like, when we see it up close, I'm like, holy crap, it really is getting very long. So Josuke goes to start shaving and he like licks the shaving cream, but he's just like, he's got such like puppy dog energy, you know? So he puts it on his face and he starts dragging the razor on his skin. And Hato's like, oh my God, be careful. You can't do it like that. And Joshu's like, no, just sit back and watch. So he's probably wishing that he'll just cut his face up because he hates Josuke. So we see like actual blood start to come out where he's like manhandling his skin with this razor. And finally his hand just like goes up in the air as he does like his final stroke. And he's like, okay, cool. That looks good. Feels good. And yeah, he does it even more. And he's like, okay, all good, all nice. Like, I think I forgot how to shave, but it's like, it's all coming back to me now. Cool. And he mentions using the bubbles. Like he had been talking about like, oh yes, just like you just put bubbles on your face and then you shave. And so he mentions using the bubbles. And we see a bunch of his star bubbles as they like land on Joshu, who's asking like, what's with you anyway? How did you get such a good shave anyway? Blah, blah, blah. I know it's just being his usual pouty self. And so he and Hato each realize that they now have a ton of hair placed perfectly in like all these weird spots all over their faces. Almost like somebody like when you Sharpie weird stuff onto somebody's face is like a prank, but it's like that, but like with actual hair. And they just start laughing at each other. And so, yeah, so whatever Josuke did with the hair, he got a good little prank in there as well. So, I think he like took the hair off with his bubbles and put it on them, which is pretty funny. He's got like a little sense of humor, you know? Like he does have like a little personality, even though he's like, there's something about him that feels so like he's almost like from outer space or something, you know? So we cut to Josuke and Daiya at the breakfast table, and she is just still simping over him big time. So he asked her to pass something, and she's like, ooh, let me get it for you. Let me pour this for you. And the dad's thinking like, wait, I thought she was supposed to be taming him. Like, this is the opposite. So, yeah, I already said, like, ordinarily this would bother me, but, you know, considering what the dad's planning for him, the way he, like, forced him to look after Daiya and everything, you know, I'm just, yeah. So we flash back to the two of them at the Steel Ball Run book, right? So, like, it kills me how they, like, didn't pick right up where they left off. Daiya mentions that her dad is the fourth Norsuke and that she's never heard of the Steel Ball Run race. And I'm like, wow, that's, like, that seemed kind of weird to me, but I guess, like, it was so, you know, at this point it was over 100 years ago. So I guess not that weird, but still, like, I feel like I would make sure that got passed down so hard in my family, like, if I, like, won second place or something. But it's one point, it's like, you're dead, like, you can't pass down anymore, it's up to your descendants, and apparently they didn't do that. So we recap some of the basic facts of the race, and we see like some little snippets of the contestants on horseback. We see Valentine, we see Steven Steele, and Josuke remembers the story of like how their family used prize money to start up their fruit company. So Josuke is like, okay, this is all well and good, but like, what is this race, and why did Kira have the same mark on his hand when he died? Like, how is this all connected? That's when they notice a family tree printed at the end, which is odd, right? Like, why is a family tree in a book like this? But it gets so much better, you guys. It gets so much better. First off, we're looking at the Higashikata family, and Tomoko appears to be the name of the current dad's mom. So, like, Tomoko is no longer Josuke's mom. Which, I mean, this isn't even like actual, this is a totally different Josuke, you know what I mean? Like, it's not even like we can even compare, you know? Like, we could kind of compare Jonathan and Johnny because we can't even really compare this. But I just thought it was funny, like, oh my god, Tomoko made it in. So he's like, why would this have any connection to the race at all? And she's like, I don't know. I don't even think this book sold that many copies. And I'm like, that's a shame. So that's when Josuke notices that Norsuke, so we're looking at the line of males, right? Because we know that they're all named Norsuke. Notices he also, first Norsuke, also had a daughter named Rina. Okay? And guess who she married? Jonathan Johnny effing Joestar is who she married. And I'm just like, Rina, Arina. So Lucy being a Pendleton was a total red herring the whole time. Like, I don't know if he ever intended for her to be, I don't know. So they got married the year after the race, apparently. So I'm told she was the one on the boat with Norsuke when Johnny was on the boat at the very, very end. Like, the last thing that we see. That was Rina. That was his future wife. That's crazy! Okay, but it gets so much better, guys. It gets so much better, all right? So we see more of the family tree, and we see that George and Elizabeth are there, and they still had Joseph, who still had Holly. And it was just like, how is this happening? Like, so much of it ended up the same names. I don't know, like, we don't know what they were like or anything, but like, that's crazy. My Joseph still made it in this universe, you guys. And Holly. So the years are a little bit different, like the years, but they were for like Johnny and Jonathan weren't born the same year either. So they're trying to figure out why all this detailed info about the Joestar family tree is even in there, since technically it's like Higashikata family tree in the first place. And I'm like, that's fair. Like, they don't have everyone else's, you know, who they married and all their family. Like, why do we, it's like right next to Higashikata family. Like, this is so weird. So then Josuke's like, wait, I do understand. I gotta work up to it. That's when we see that Holly married Akira.
Jesus Christ.
A member of the Kira bloodline. Their son is Yoshikage. Holly married Ghost Dad. Ick, first of all. I'm sure he was nicer than Ghost Dad, though. Kira is a Joestar. Kira is basically Jotaro. Kira is Jotaro now. And I'm like, no wonder he's so hot, honestly. Like, no wonder he came... Like, a lot of people love Part 4 Kira, and they think he's super hot, and that's cool. You do you. This Kira is so much hotter to me. And now I know why. It's because he's got those smoldering good looks that only the Joestar bloodline could provide. And I'm just like, oh my god. So just follow me on this for a second, okay? So first of all, we still got like so much of our family tree intact, which is absolutely insane to me. Holly is Kira's mom. Kira is basically Jotaro. And Kira is genetically the same as Josuke, which means that Josuke, Jotaro, and Kira are all the same person? Somehow. We're not done. We're not done. We are not done. We're not done. Also, at this screen, we get to see the full Joestar family tree. Like, at first you just see, like, Joseph's in there, George and Elizabeth are in there. Joseph still married Susie Q. They found each other in every universe, you guys. And guess what? Guess what's also very visible on this family tree? There are no affair babies. We managed to still get the Higashikatas and Josuke with no affair. How about that? It's almost like I've been saying for ages that we didn't need to... You know how I get about this. I get a little bit upset about the whole affair thing and how it was so unnecessary. We could have gotten Josuke any other way. Literally just, you know what's so funny? I was cracking myself up the other day because I was saying, like, I've always said, like, I wish they had just found Josuke in a Cabbage Patch. And we actually found this Josuke just, like, lying somewhere. I'm like, oh my god, he listened. It wasn't a Cabbage Patch, but still. Yeah, I'm so, like, the fact that we still get Joseph and Susie Q in this, it just warms my heart a little bit. I'm sure we won't get any more info about them, or, like, we're not gonna get, like, a whole part for them, obviously. We skipped over that. But just, like, it feels good to know that, like, in one universe, like, I'm guessing we're happy, and, like, there was no affair, and, do you smell that? It smells like fidelity. And it smells good. And I'm just so happy. Always said that we didn't need the affair, and you know what? I'll give Araki this. He went ahead and he undid it. Like, he didn't undo it, but, like, he had some time to plan this time, and he did right by us. So I'm grateful for that. So yeah. So Daiya is like, I've never heard of any of this, but Josuke is like, well, Kira was investigating this apparently, so it's important. So Josuke Googles Yoshiteru Kira, who is, okay, so the dad in part 4 was Yosahiro, and this dad is Yoshiteru. So it is a little bit different, but he's still, theoretically, still Ghost Dad, I guess. He Googles him and he finds something, but we don't see what it is. So he makes Daiya swear again that she'll speak of none of this. And also, it was at this point, so remember how I said earlier there was, like, some reasons why I really, really, really didn't want to see them, like, get it on? At this point, you realize they're basically cousins, right? I mean, they're far removed, but they're basically cousins. Because Norsuke the second and Rina were brother and sister. Rina helped spawn the whole Joestar line, and Norsuke the second helped spawn the line that leads up to Daiya and Joshu and all them. So they're cousins. To make it a little bit weirder for ya, now I will tell you that, of course, first thing I thought of was my excellent cousin theory. Because I don't know if you remember, but way back in part 4, I don't think I posted it everywhere, but I made this just really like red string like theory video about what I thought was gonna happen. Maybe I should post it. I don't know. Like it's funny now that I look back on it. But I posted it on Patreon. But maybe I should post it everywhere. So I made this theory video about, because someone had told me there was going to be like a reboot, like a soft reboot in one of the later parts. Because I was kind of starting to figure out, like we were in 1999 already, and I'm like, how the heck are we going to get like this? Like I knew we were up to part 9 in the manga. I'm like, how are they going to get this if he's not going ahead into the future? How are we going to get more JoJo's? And I suggested like maybe it was a reboot or something. And somebody was like, yeah, okay, since you mentioned it, like there is going to be like a reboot. So I was trying to figure out what this was going to look like. And I came up with the most fire theory that I still love, that what we were going to do is we were going to go back and do all the gap periods that we had throughout the series. So like we'd go back and we'd do like a part about George and Elizabeth, you know? And maybe with like Elizabeth as the main character, Lisa as the main character, because George would be like a bro, even though he's like technically the JoJo and everything in this, right? And then we would do like one about the 50 years between parts 2 and part 3. And I think my theory in that, I think how that connected, it's been like a year since I made it, but I think my big focus on that was like they're going to focus on like another, like George the First had like an uncle, and we're gonna focus on like the uncle's descendants, and there's gonna be like the cousins, and that was like my big theory, is that we were gonna focus on like the cousins of all of like the separate line of Joestars, but they're still Joestars. But we would like do it during the gap periods between the other parts, so that we could have people from other parts come in. I think that was what it was. And then like we could have like George and Lisa. We could have like Joseph when he was like older and everything, but not as old as Star Crusaders yet. And I thought that was such a good idea. It's like, we didn't do that, but we did get some cousins, which I'm super like, a lot of my theories like didn't come true, but there was like a little snippet of truth in them. Also, and now I'm starting to wonder if the reason he made George like turn face in part 7 was just so that we could get Johnny's kid named after George, because I don't think there was any way he was going to name him after his dad with the way things stood until they like reconciled. So now I'm wondering if that was specifically only for that, so that he would name his kid George. I don't know. So they leave the room. Getting back to the actual freaking story, you guys. They leave the room, but they don't notice that the bookmark that was in the Steel Ball Run book falls on the floor. Fortunately, Josuke notices it and he puts it back, because I thought they were going to like do a whole thing with that. Then we see what he found on his phone. He found Holly Joestar Kira, and she's an ophthalmologist, or she was, like she's retired. And he sees that she's still alive. Kira's dad and Kira are dead, but like she's still alive, and he needs to find her, and he needs to talk to her. So he says he'll be investigating the family line, and he still just doesn't know what or who he is. Finn. Oh my god, you guys. I talked about that one a lot already, so I won't go too crazy, but like, good god. The family tree, because I'll be honest with you, I'm like, we were several chapters in, and they had not really explained like how he was a Joestar, how he was a JoJo, like what was going on. And I'm like, you know what? With Araki, you never know if like maybe we'll just never really, you know, but I knew he would have to explain something, but I didn't think we were going to be focusing on it quite this much, and I'm just so happy with this turn of events. Yeah, so I said a lot about it already, so I won't go into the whole thing, but Basically, we start off with just, now Daiya's working for him. And then we get into the whole family tree thing. And it just, the family tree just, like, blows my mind. I cannot believe that he made Kira a Joestar. I cannot believe that Kira is Jotaro. I cannot believe. And I'm still, like, just so happy that, like, so it's funny because I'll see every once in a while, like, somebody will come up with, like, this fan thing of, like, oh, what if Jonathan had lived and he and Erina got to live out their lives together? Everybody's like, well, no, because then George and Elizabeth aren't getting together and blah, blah, blah. Well, how about that? They did. They did manage to still get together. I'm assuming it's the exact same Elizabeth. I don't know why you'd bring it up. Maybe not. I don't know. He brought in a Pendleton and didn't make her Erina. Also pretty ironic that when you think about it, Erina in this, so I think we all remember how Joseph used to go on and on about how mad he was at Japan. He's part Japanese in this. I think that was just like, that's so like amazing and ironic. That is so cool. But it's also kind of funny considering how he used to go on about it. He mellowed in part 4 though. Part 4 he was like, ooh, I really like this coffee. And I'm like, oh, honey, what happened to you? Like, my God, you really must not remember a whole lot because in part 3 you were tweaking about that coffee. So, all right, guys, the family tree, like, honestly, I was tempted to just leave it at the family tree because it's just such a big one. Chapter 12. Chapter 12, Josuke's just doing his laundry. So, like, we never pick up where we leave off. We're just, like, we start with, like, random stuff. It's very interesting. So, Josuke's just doing his laundry one day when he sees that Joshu's shirt got mixed in with his, and there's a 1,000 yen bill in the pocket. So, Joshu's around the corner watching him, and he pops out to yell at him. And then he sees the bill, and he gets really mad. And Josuke's like, wait. Don't get the wrong idea. Your laundry got mixed in with mine. So Joshu freaking slaps him across the face. And Josuke's like trying to convince him like he wasn't stealing anything. He slaps him again. And he's like taunting him like, oh, you getting angry? Just try it. And I'm like, oh my God, Josuke, do try it. Because I would love to see you just wipe the floor with this guy. And he had a knife behind his back. Like he has a knife. Joshu is just, he's not even like good bad. You know what I mean? He's just like, I just want him gone. Thankfully, the dad walks in, but Joshu's trying to say that Josuke took money from his shirt. And the dad's like, are you sure about that? You sure this isn't a mistake? Like maybe your clothes got mixed together, which is what he's been trying to tell him. And the dad's like, look, I told you to get along with Josuke, right? And Joshu's whining, but the dad's like, all right, that's enough. And he just walks away pouting. So like, again, under any other circumstances, I'd be sad for Joshu with like his dad not believing him and everything, but Joshu's just such a piece of crap that I'm like, yeah, that's what you get. And that really was the situation. He wasn't trying to swindle him or anything. So the dad is trying to smooth things over with Josuke, and he's like, maybe we ought to think about getting you into school soon. And Daiya starts getting all excited, like, ooh, you mean college or high school or like elementary school? And she's like laughing and cracking herself up. And then the dad is like, well, maybe we should send you back to elementary school, my little cutie wootie Daiya-chan, coochie coo. And he's like tickling her, and she's laughing. And I'm like, honestly, this is kind of cute and silly and goofy and endearing, except they're also so weird. And I'm just like, I don't know how to feel about, like, can I just enjoy like a cute moment or goofy moment with them, or like, do I just constantly need to keep my guard up? I have no idea. So yeah. All right, so he might be going to school soon. Interesting. So Josuke's all alone there except for Kei, Nijimura, who's cleaning, the maid. There's cameras on the outside gates, so Josuke throws his soap bubble at a cat that's resting nearby, steals its fur, and then uses it to block the camera. And the poor cat is like half bald now. And they show the cat, and he's just like, meow. And I'm just like, so so weird. At least he didn't. At least he's not killing like animals and everything in this one. You know, at least it's just like a little. The fur will grow back, you guys. Okay, it's just gonna look a little funny for a little while. So Josuke books it and he makes a call saying that he just left. Yasuho's on the other end and says that Holly is in fact in Morio, but she can't seem to get a hold of her, even though she is at like this university that they have in Morio. So it kind of makes sense because we know Holly ended up in Japan anyway. If she had married someone who was in Morio, then like that kind of makes sense, right? But it's just kind of crazy to think that like these families have been living like right near each other and like they weren't even, well, were they aware of it though? Because now, so going back to what I said though, about like why is Norisuke after Josuke so much? Like, does he know? Like, did he know Kira was looking into this? Like, it wouldn't surprise me if he did. So, yeah. Well, I guess we'll see, because I honestly don't know. Yasuho tells him to meet her at the Mutsukabe Shrine, which I'm almost sure is a reference to Mutsukabe Hill, the Rohan story. She tells him to use his GPS to get there and is thinking that like she hasn't seen him in a while and she's pretty excited. And I'm like, I get just like Daiya over their ship. Like I get that same like So Yasuho is trying to call and get through to Holly. She gives her name and they ask if she's a relative. And they're like, if you're not a relative, we can't just hand the call over to a patient. And I'm like, what? She's a patient there? Like we all were thinking she was like a professor there or a doctor there. Huh? So meanwhile, Josuke is using his GPS to get there, but it keeps telling him he's gone too far and to make a U-turn. By the way, the Osen, or supposed to be like Lawson, but they couldn't say that, so it's like Osen, is in this shot, which I just thought was fun because it showed up in part 4 so much. So he sees this little alleyway and it keeps telling him to make a U-turn. So he goes down the alley and at first I'm like, oh my God, is this the alley? Is this Raimi's alley? But I don't think it's that deep. I think it's just an alley and maybe like a nice little homage because there's nothing having to do with ghosts or anything in there. So it keeps telling him to turn around and he's like, if I do that, I'll be back at the Higashikata house. That's when I'm like, this GPS is definitely a stand, isn't it? It's a stand. It's not the weirdest thing to ever be a stand, a GPS. Like, it's got to be a stand. So finally he sees that one of the roads was closed and he's like, oh, okay, that's why it was rerouting me. So we cut to Yasuho. She calls to tell him that Holly's actually ill and is admitted to the hospital, not working there, which explains why no one claimed or identified Kira's corpse. So of course, another thing that really sucks here is like Holly just lost her son and like I don't even think she knows it. And she's sick and she's in a hospital and it's like, wow, this is getting sadder and sadder by the minute. Like I can remember saying at the end of part 3, like what would even happen if like they defeated Dio but like they all died. And so like Holly lived knowing that like her son died. And like, wouldn't that be awful? Like I would hate to have to see someone explain to her that like her son died. Yeah. So he says he'll be there soon. He can see the shrine, but the GPS is telling him to turn right again. And he's like, you know what? I'm just going to draw a map out on my notebook. I'm going to go analog. But he can't even close like the GPS app on his phone. It's still trying to guide him away. So that's when we see a figure on a motorcycle appear behind him. And the person on the motorcycle throws something right at him. And this GPS is going crazy, like trying to guide him still. So he almost gets hit in the throat with this sharp metal object, but he calls out to stand just in time to block the big metal sign thing that's coming at him. And the GPS is still going crazy, trying to get him out of there. So the motorcycle comes back and he's like, who are you? And he calls Yasuho to tell her what's going on. And he's like, so there's somebody following me, but like they're also going away from me. So, kind of the two different things there, but it's true, like the motorcycle person isn't always there. So these leaves blow up into his eyes and he starts to lose his balance, and that's when we see another metal object come up behind his head and it stabs him. So he's like sliding down the wall and dying or whatever, and this GPS is just still saying like, please make a U-turn, please make a U-turn. You know how GPSs like freak out when you like rerouting, recalculating. Yeah. Finn to chapter 12. That's it for our batch today, you guys. Chapter 12 was basically the introduction of 2 new stands, and I'm sorry that I did have to leave you right at the beginning of another stand fight. I really probably should have just done 3 this time and left off on chapter 11, but I really didn't want to like start getting behind on, you know, like, you know, my batch numbers, you know, like I didn't have to. I could do 4 chapters, so I did do 4 chapters, basically. So, yeah, guys, I would say the biggest, so chapter 12 was, yeah, again, just kind of like setting up before I talk about the whole thing. Had some like interesting moments with the Higashikata family in there. I hate Joshu. I don't know how to feel about the rest of them. And yeah, we just basically introduced, this, so I'll tell you this, okay? The chapter names are 2 different stand names. So you can already tell it's going to be 2 different stands. But the way it looks right now is that they're kind of like the same stand, is kind of how it looks. Like, it looks like the motorcycle person is using the GPS. Like, maybe the motorcycle person is the stand user and the GPS is the stand. That's how it looks, okay? You can tell from the chapter title, because it's 2 different names. It's like, what is it? Is it Paisley Park and Born This Way? Is that it? I think. I don't know. It's been a while since I actually, like, I reread the chapters to do the notes, but obviously, like, it's been a while since I, like, first read the chapters. Yeah. So, what is going on? But they're going to be very, very interesting. We are going to get a whole lot more info in this whole arc, so it's going to be great. Obviously, I think the big standout of this batch was obviously the family tree. It still just blows my mind that we combine so many elements of different JoJo characters from the OG universe all into the Joestar family here. So, yeah, again, it does beg the question for me, you know, does Norisuke know? Like, what... Does anyone know that, like, Kira was investigating this? Why was Kira investigating this? There's obviously something really important about the Joestar family tree and the link between these 2 families, but we don't really know what or why or what's anything about that. It doesn't feel like they're specifically trying to keep away from each other, because why the heck would she stay in Morio? Unless Holly didn't know. I don't know. Like, I legitimately don't know at this point, like, what is going on with Kira's specific investigation of all of this, and why it would be so important that they're linked. But yeah, so now we have a lot more pieces of the puzzle. Kira is Jotaro, basically. We know what happened to Johnny after the Steel Ball Run race. To know that he, like, got married and, like, had a family and everything, like, there's something about it that makes me really, like, I'm so sad that Jonathan never got that, but to think that maybe, like, Johnny did. Although I am told we are going to learn more about Johnny later, so maybe we will, I don't know. I don't know where we're going with it, but I am told that we will learn a little bit more later. Like, there is more coming on the details of Johnny's life. But I like to think that he lived, like, a long and happy life with his family, and, like, there's something about that that kind of helps make up for the way that we lost Jonathan so young. And we got so many people still in our, like, it just blows my mind that, like, so many things are different, yet so many things stayed the same. And it's like, how does that, it really must be fate. You know, we went so hard on this idea of, like, fate in so many parts. It's really got to be fate, because even Rina, I guess, was supposed to be like Erina, just, like, born into a different family. Like, she was born in Japan this time. Yeah. Joseph still being born, George and Elizabeth, them still coming together and everything. Joseph and Susie Q. So, like, I'm so confused, though. George and Elizabeth, I could see, depending on, like, what the details of that are. Because I always said, like, it's totally possible that they just met, the parents met and became friends on the ship, kept in touch, and George and Elizabeth get married. Like, you really didn't have to kill Jonathan for them to be able to get married. But Joseph and Susie Q, that's a real interesting one, because without all of the like stone mask and the pillar men and all that nonsense, like how on earth did he, of course, you know, we're assuming that like, we're assuming that she's like still Italian in this and everything, which like she's probably born in New Jersey or something, you know, like she's probably not even from Italy in this. You know, it's like, how did he, why would, and plus maybe he just happened to be in Italy for like some other reason, like we don't know. Yeah. Oh, you know, it'd be so amazing if they're never going to get, like, we won't get anything. I think we'll get something about Johnny, but we're not going to get any details on, like, anything else. But, you know, it'd be amazing, because Gyro had brothers. I don't know if he had sisters, but he had brothers. If we find out that, like, one of Gyro's, like, great nephew, or no, it wouldn't be that far. It'd be, like, great nephew, maybe. One of his great nephews is like Caesar in this universe, and we still get like Joseph and Caesar as friends, and he's just like, I'm just going to see my friend in Italy, and he meets Susie, and the rest is history. And he stays faithful to her, because he always should have stayed faithful to her, because it never made any sense for him not, you know what, I'm not going to get into it. I've been talking about this for over a year now, and I'm just waiting for somebody to be like, shut up. Nobody wants to hear more. I will forever defend my man, his dignity. He would have never done that. And he didn't do that. We literally just found Josuke out in the middle of nowhere, and now everyone's happy. Wasn't that hard, was it? To just make somebody faithful to the wife. Just saying. And we got Tomoko too, okay, now this is really weird, because Tomoko is like a distant cousin, I guess, of Joseph. Well, they were about to have cousins get it on anyway, so, you know, I guess it didn't stop any of the nonsense, I guess, but wow. Yeah, so I just like I'm still dwelling on the family tree. I read this so many weeks ago, and I'm still dwelling on the family tree. So that was by far the biggest takeaway for me. I'm going to wrap it up, because I've been talking for a long time, and I think you're probably tired of it by now. But I would love to hear your thoughts on the family tree and the changes, to put it mildly, and the lack of changes. Like, the things we changed and the things we didn't, you know? So yeah. This is a really good batch. Again, we've got a really fun fight on the way here. And more revelations. So yeah, guys. Oh, I will leave you with this, because there are two things that I noticed, rereading, that I did not notice the first time. And I'm like, oh my God, the clues were all there. One, Kira and Josuke both have the sun. Like, Josuke has a lot of the elements of, like, Part 4 Josuke. With his uniform and everything. Like, he has a little anchor, he has a little, what does he have on him? He has, like, one of them, the heart or the peace sign, but not both. No, maybe he doesn't have either. He has, like, the anchor. That's all he has. I don't know. I don't have anything with Part 8 Josuke around me. I haven't gotten any merch. So, like, I can't tell you. But I know he has, like, elements. He and Kira both also have the sun that was on Jotaro's hat in Part 4. And I'm like, that is such a glaringly obvious thing. How did I miss that? So, like, it was there that he was Jotaro. And in the apartment, in Kira's apartment, where he has, like, the hands on display, there's one doing this, like the great days, like pointing to the sky. And there's one that's like this, like the hand thing on Jotaro's hat. It was right there, you guys. The breadcrumbs were, like, Araki was playing the long game here, and it's just, it's wonderful. I love it. So I'm going to leave you with that. Hope you enjoyed reading along with me. Let me know what your thoughts are on this batch. I'm very curious to hear how everyone's processing the bizarre wonderland that is Jojolion. Please be sure to join me next time, and we will read it together. Bye for now, guys.